Hey everyone, what is going on, and welcome back to another Meta Guide. Guess what? We are in the Open Master League. So the Open Master League is beginning tomorrow. So it's not accessible to many trainers. I'm just going to throw that out there. You might have some Pokemon, but these Pokemon all require XLs because they're all level 50. You want Hundos or close to it. It's just super important. And we're going to go ahead and just dive right into it. Something to keep in mind, if you don't like the Master League, if you don't have the resources, we do have the Summer Cup going on, so you can go ahead and participate in the Summer Cup. Something to keep in mind, I did do a meta guide of the Summer Cup, so yeah, go ahead and play the Summer Cup. If you don't have these Pokemon, which the Summer Cup is not my favorite league, I'm going to be honest. But the Master League, I feel like the Master League I would like more, because I do like the Master League. I just, if I had like the resources for everything, and I have some decent Pokemon. But anyway, that's enough about that. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. Starting off Palkia Origin number 1. That spatial rend attack is so good. Aquatail's actually got buffed this season. It was still ranked number 1 last season, or yeah, Aquatail's buffed. No, Aquatail's buffed last season. So even before the buff, it was still ranked number 1, but the buff, obviously, to Aquatail is just going to help it out even more. So yeah, Dragon Breath, Aquatail, Spatial Rend is the moveset you're going to want to go with. You essentially get walled by Fairy types, but if you're not going up against Fairy types, you're looking pretty good. I guess Steel types probably wouldn't be great either, but let's go ahead and move into the next one. Zygarde Complete. So if you're one of the lucky few that got a really good Zygarde, either a Hundo or a 98, 15, 15, 14, something really good, I do think it is worth the Rare Candy XLs if you have them to invest in this. But if you don't have, I actually have enough Rare Candy XLs to invest in it. I'm not going to though, because I got a 14, 12, 14, which all things considered is actually not bad considering you only get one, right? But I'm not going to invest in it because if they ever release another Zygarde, for example, when Legends ZA comes out, which is the next main series game that comes out in 2025, it does feature Zygarde. Maybe they'll do a tie-in and put Zygarde in raids. They might not. It's just something that I'm speculating that they'll re-release Zygarde. I don't want to invest in this, build it, just to have a Zygarde re-released where I could get a Hundo, right? I mean, it makes sense, right? It makes sense. That's the main reason why I'm not investing in it. Plus, Zygarde Complete has been doing really well for me in the Ultra League. So just keep yours for the Ultra League. But again, it's a huge investment, even more so than the other Pokemon, because you have to collect the 250 cells. So get to walking. Next up, we have Landorus. Landorus is such a great Pokemon ever since it got that Sancia Storm, I believe it's called. Guaranteed debuff towards your opponent. Mudshot, you get to it really fast. 5 Mudshots, and then you have Stone Edge as well for flyers. Really good Pokemon. One of the best. And then we have Dragonite. Okay, Dragonite's another really good Pokemon. The Shadow Dragonite, I mean, you could go regular one. I would actually go regular, and only because I don't have a Hundo Shadow or close to it. So that's why I would say regular. If you do have the Shadow, more power to you. But Dragonite is also a really great Pokemon. Then we have Giratina Altered. So Giratina Altered, super bulky. It can take hits for days. So yeah, the Shadow Claw damage with the Dragon Claw. Not the most powerful Pokemon. You can actually consider Shadow Force on this Giratina if you want to, just because this is the Master League and you get to move faster, and I don't think a lot of trainers are going to expect Shadow Force. But you don't have to go with that. You can go with the other moves if you want to get to like the Shadow Sneak faster, or even the Ancient Power, depending on your team comp. Then we have Necrozma. Duskwings? I want to say it's Duskwings. Dawnmane, I think, is the other one. I get confused with these names. But this one is so good. Both of them are really good, but this one is really good. Moongeist Beam is so powerful. And it's just such a great Pokemon. Now, I know this Pokemon is not accessible to many trainers. Obviously, we have the Madrid Go Fest going on, and then we had the Japan one, right? Where you can get Necrozma, and the New York one is coming up, which I'll be at, and then the global one in July. So yeah, probably not going to see many of these unless you attend. Obviously, if you attended it, you could have this. But yeah, something to keep in mind. This is a really good Pokemon. I do want to say, and you will probably know this, if you fuse Necrozma with Lunala, which does give you this one, it takes the stats of the Necrozma. So if you have a Hundo Necrozma, you'll have a hundo of this one. If you have a hundo Lunala, you will not have a hundo of this one. So something to keep in mind. And then we have Groudon. Groudon's such a great Pokemon with Precipice Blades. Love the signature move. Great, great Pokemon. Moving on to the Eric, we have the regular Palkia. Still really good. Obviously, Aqua Tail was buffed, as we've discussed. Dragon Breath, same moveset. Not Spatial Ren, though. Has Draco Media. It also has Fire Blast. You go Draco Media. The Palkia Origin is so much better. So if you have the Origin, definitely something you want to do. And then Giratina Origin. So Giratina Origin. Still a really good Pokemon. There's so many Pokemon that have Dragon Breath that just is going to do really well against this. That's kind of like the downfall of Giratina, I feel like. But, yeah, it's still really, really solid pick. And then we have Solgaleo. Solgaleo is tough to get. If you have enough Rare Candy XLs, then you have it. And that's great. And as I said, I do for Zygarde, so I do for Solgaleo. So it's something I could invest in. I just don't have a good one. I do have a 15 attack one, but I think the defense is like 12 and then 14. So maybe it's not terrible, but I'm just going to wait on it. I'm in no rush to play Master League, so I don't mind waiting on it. You know what I'm saying? Kyurem is really good. It does have Glaciate, which is debuffs the opponent's attack. So really good Pokemon. Dragon Breath, Glaciate, really, really, really good. Love the signature move. Love the Pokemon. Mewtwo, great save swap. Yeah, great save swap. Great Pokemon in general. I guess Psycho Cut gets to the move so fast. Gets to the move. Psy Strike. I mean, I have a hundo. So for me, I have Psy Strike, Psycho Cut, and Shadow Ball. Both legacy moves as a charge moves. I've seen Ice Beam on this. I've seen Focus Blast. I think the most common set is the Shadow Ball, Psy Strike. But instead of the ball, you could go with another move. But yeah, that's the move that I have. Double legacy, but I really like it. And then we have the other Necrozma form. I said it was Dornmane or something. I'm sorry, I just don't remember. But still really, really strong Pokemon. I will put the other Necrozma a little bit higher. Something to keep in mind, they're both Necrozma, right? Even though they're forms, you can't use them both on the same team. So just something to keep in mind because they're both considered Necrozma. They're just different forms. Then we have Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh is coming back to Raids. Let's go. I'm at 188 XL candy for it. I have a hundo, so I'm trying to get to enough so I can actually build it. I need to Elite TM Sacred Fire onto it because I caught it before Sacred Fire was a thing, the hundo. But I'm happy to get it. I know we've had plenty of opportunities. I've just never, I guess, raided enough. But I have plenty of raid passes. I'm able to do it, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Then we have Dialga Origin. Dialga Origin is better than the other Dialga. They're both really good. This one, the Origin form is bulkier. It just has less attack. But it is really good because it has Roar of Time, and I like that more than Draco Media. So it doesn't debuff you like Draco Media does. Just such a better one in my opinion. But the other one is still really good. The regular Dialga, still really good. So don't undermine it. Still a really strong Pokemon. Moving on to the B rank, we do have Meloetta. So Meloetta is interesting because it's so tanky, and it can take hits. And it's going to wall Pokemon, for example. It's a normal type, right? Normal Psychic, so it's going to wall like Giratina. It's just going to get to the moves, and it's going to be able to take hits. It is one of those where we only got one, so it's not like you can grind XLs. You could walk it, I guess. It's been out for years, so maybe you have the XL candy for it already. Maybe you have the Rare Candy XLs. I'm not going to build it, but I still think it's really good. Then we have Zekrom, another strong Dragon-type Pokemon. Yeah, I mean, we have better dragons at this point, but this is still a really good one. Xerneas, ooh, let's go. Xerneas as a Fairy-type. So the thing I like about Xerneas is it has a Geomancy, which helps it out a lot. It has close combat, so it can hit Steel types, so it's not completely walled from like Dialga, for example. It can actually do well against Dialga. Yes, you're weak to the Iron Head, but close combat also going to be super effective. Then we have Lugia. So Lugia was nerfed, the Sky Attack was nerfed, but it's still a really good Pokemon. Great save swap, super bulky, right? So it can get to the Aeroblast. You could also bait with the Sky Attack if you want to, but like Aeroblast, super powerful. We talked about the regular Dialga, still really good. Zacian, another really good one. It has Quick Attack or Snarl, both movesets I see, both fast moves. And then the moveset is interesting. It has Wild Charge, Close Combat, and Play Rough. Now, which moveset do you want to go with? I've seen like a combination of all of them. I personally... So I don't actually have a good one. I have a 15, 14, 13. I want a better one, so I'm waiting for it to come back. or maybe I could try and lucky trade. I'm trying to lucky trade Palkia Origins right now, but so I'm trying to get a better one. But I have used this for the Master Classic when that was a thing, and I like the moveset Close Combat Wild Charge. Now you do get walled from like Giratina, for example, but I just like that moveset because Wild Charge is going to do well against like Kyogre or other Pokemon like Lugia, for example. I just like that moveset, but Play Rough is great as well. It really depends on your team comp. We have Yveltal. I have 298 Yveltals, both 14 attack. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to invest in it. I have plenty of XLs, but I'm not going to invest in it. I'm going to try and get a better one. This is a bulky one, and this is a good one as well with the Focus Blast. It also has Oblivion Wing as well, which I actually forgot about until now. And then it has Dark Pulse. And then moving on, Reshiram, another one. Again, it's kind of like Zekrom. We do have better dragons, but Reshiram is still a good one. As well. Moving on to the other options, we do have the Kyogre. So Kyogre's a really, really good one. I've been actually using Kyogre whenever I play Master League. I've been using it with Waterfall, Surf, and Origin Pulse. I don't think that's the moveset you want. I think you want Blizzard instead of Origin Pulse. Surf you definitely need because you get to it faster. But if you have Origin Pulse, you're running Triple Water. I just don't want to delete Origin Pulse from mine, right? Because it's a legacy move. I know I could get it back at some point in the future, but then you have to use an Elite TM. That's the only reason I have it, so I'm willing to build another Kyogre, because I think I have almost enough to build another one, so I could do that with Blizzard, and I probably will. We have Zarude. Zarude, so we have two Zarudes. We were able to get two Zarudes. My first one was the 12-12-12, which I did build for Master Classic, and then my second one was the 12-13-13. So I'm not going to XL any of these. I don't have enough XLs. I mean, I have enough XL Rare Candies, but I'm not going to put it into Zygarde. You need a better one. And it's just not... It's good. It's just not... It's a good grass type, right? We don't have many grass types when it comes to the Master League, but so many dragon types... I know you could go for, like, Dark Pulse. It has Dark Pulse, right? Or some of the Dark move. I think it's Dark Pulse for those dragons and for those other Pokemon. But, yeah, really not the best Pokemon in my opinion. But it's going to do well against Mewtwo as long as Mewtwo... Yeah, so it's not bad at all. It does wall some of the popular picks, like the Mewtwo, as I mentioned. As well as the Giratina. And I guess it's going to do super effective damage with the Dark Pulse towards, like, the Solgaleo. Because Solgaleo, isn't it... not Solgaleo, excuse me. Necrozma, the Lunala one. Isn't that Psychic Ghost? So it should do double super effective damage. So yeah, I mean, it definitely has play. Definitely not a bad Pokemon, but again, it's one that we only have two of. So if you have a good one, more power to you. Move on to Marshadow, the new Mythical. Believe it or not, this is actually a decent one. This says Counter. So we're talking the best counter user for this meta. And the charge moves are not bad either. So Marshadow, I mean, people could have it. I don't think you're going to see it, even when all the Go Fest happen, even when the Global Go Fest happens. I really don't think we're going to see it. But you know what? People, maybe if you have a hundo, maybe someone will invest those Rare Candy XLs into it. So, I don't know, going to be a fun pick. It's not going to dominate the Master League at all, even if it was super accessible. It's just not going to dominate the Master League, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and I do think it's a pretty good pick. Hisuian Avalugg, really, really tanky. See this more, I guess, in the Master Premier. But still a really good Pokemon as well, especially with all the dragons, right? Landorus, actually, speaking of all the dragons, Landorus is also going to be really weak to Ice-type attacks as well. But we do have the regular, the Incarnate form, I guess it's called, of Landorus. The other one, the Therian form, is going to be better, much better. Then we have Melmetal, we have Metagross. Metagross is pretty good, for sure. Definitely see it a lot in the Master Premier, but yeah, I mean, going to be really good in the Open Master League as well. We've seen it plenty of times. Then we have Tapu Bulu. Now, I will tell you, when they announced Nature's Madness for all the Island Guardian Pokemon, Tapu Bulu, Feeny, Coco, I didn't think they would really help anyone besides Feeny. Obviously, it's going to help Feeny. Feeny's already good for like the Ultra League, but it's obviously much better with Nature's Madness than Moonblast. But I actually went into Master League last season, and Bulu swept my whole team. Like, my whole team was super weak to it, and I wasn't even prepared for Bulu at all. So, yeah, Bulu and Coco actually seen some play. I wouldn't say they're super common, but they are seeing some play, and they can definitely catch a lot of people off guard who are not prepared for it, right? You're going to be doing well against the Dragons, for example. Even Landorus, Storm going to be resisted. Stone Edge, I guess, is neutral, but you have grass attacks that could do neutral as well. It's just actually not a bad Pokemon. I got a pretty decent one. And I do have enough XLs actually, so I'm pretty happy with that. I didn't build it yet, but I'm thinking about it. Then we have Rayquaza. Rayquaza would be on top of the list, I feel like, if Breaking Swipe wasn't nerfed. It's still decent, but so many other Dragon types, and Rayquaza is really frail, and you're kind of relying on the 50-50 chance of Breaking Swipe. Still not bad, though. Then we have Heatran. Heatran, another Pokemon that got Magma Storm, so pretty cool, as another Steel type. And then we have Gyarados, and then we have Goodra. So when it comes to Goodra, PvPoke recommends Draco Meteor, Aqua Tail, I believe, over like Power Whip or Thunder Punch. Probably because this is the Master League, you want to nuke things with the Draco Meteor. With that being said, we're moving on to the solid team options. So for the first team, I battled this team quite often whenever I played Master League last season. Going to be Landorus, Origin Dialga, and Origin Palkia. Now you could substitute the Origin Dialga for the regular Dialga if you just have the regular Dialga built. But yeah, I mean, great team. Save swap Dialga, I would say, is probably a really good save swap if you lose the lead. The backline is going to be able to handle, like, for example, water types like Kyogre if you happen to see one. Obviously, Landorus doesn't appreciate Kyogre, although it's still spamming those Sandslash Storms. But yeah, you just save swap to Dialga. I think Dialga is a really good save swap. A team I want to try, I just need a better Landorus and Dialga. So when it comes to not Landorus. Landorus is already maxed out. I need a better Dialga and Palkia. When it comes to Dialga and Palkia, for Palkia, you need a 15-15-14 minimum. Or a hundo. So I'm trying lucky trades. I don't have that. I have a 15-13-15 and it loses important matchups. Breakpoints and things like that. It takes like extra like mud shots, I think, from Landorus and things. It's very important. And then Dialga, you need either, well, a hundo obviously, or like a 15-14-15, or I think a 15-14-14 would work. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong about that. But yeah, so need something like that. Then we're moving on to the next team, going to be Palkia in the lead with Landorus and Mewtwo. Mewtwo has always been a great safe swap. There are some walls to it that we discussed, like Zarude or Yveltal, but those are not like super common, I feel like. Right? We'll have to see. And you know, I would say I would recommend the Psy Strike and then the Shadow Ball moveset on the Mewtwo. And then the next team, we have Ho-Oh in the lead. Can't wait to finish my Ho-Oh. I'm so excited this month. Let's go, baby! And then we have the new Necrozma form. Probably not going to see that until the Go Fest happened. And then Dialga. I put the regular Dialga. You could use the Origin one, of course. And then next up, we have Double Fairy with Xerneas and Zacian. And then Groudon in the lead. You could go Landorus or another ground type. Obviously, the backline hates steals like Metagross, like Melmetal, if you should battle those. Any other steel types. Dialga, I guess, I mean, you're fine with because of close combat, but and then, you know, the ground type in the lead, going to do well against the steel types. And then next up, we have Palkia, Mewtwo, Landorus. Oops, I actually didn't even realize this is the same exact team as team number 2, so I do apologize. I do apologize for that. Yeah, so we only have 5 team suggestions on this video. Again, I do apologize. I didn't even realize that until just now. And then so for the 5th team, technically, it's going to be ABA Dragon. So Dialga, Origin in the lead with Dialga, or with Origin Palkia in the back and Ho-Oh in the lead. Now, fairies are going to be difficult, but you do have play with Dialga because of the Iron Head, right? So it's really not too bad. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's not too bad. But if you win the lead, you're looking really good. You're looking really good because then they switch out. You don't even necessarily have to switch out. It really depends what comes in, just because you have another dragon in the back. So, for example, if Kyogre's in the lead, obviously that's great for you. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's great for you. So, you're looking really good. So, ABA teams can always be a risk, but still really strong stuff. If you win that lead, going to be looking really good. But with that being said, that's going to be the Open Master League. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.